morning, good 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 morning. Good morning. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, PT, Martinique. Happy am I to be in your presence. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada on this wonderful Wednesday, February 7th, 2021. Thank you so much to the folks joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. And good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, Hot 98.5, 98.7. Good morning to the folks watching us on the Go To Fets Facebook page, Party Grenada's Facebook page, and the Party Grenada website. Thank you so much. We are all over the place. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. Good morning, a special good morning to my folks on the sister isle of Carriacou and PT Martinique. A special good morning. I don't know why, but I woke up with you guys on my mind this morning, so I said, you know what, let me send special blossom morning greetings to the residents of Carriacou and PT Martinique. Bless up all your whole selves. To the folks joining us across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, far north as Jamaica, far south as Guyana, far southwest of Grenada as the ABC Islands, and far northeast as Barbados, all the islands in between, a spicy Grenadian good morning to each and every one of you. And to the folks tuned in internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Let's do this. It's a wonderful Wednesday, and it's time for this morning's Word of the Day. This morning's Word of the Day is durable, durable, D-U-R-A-B-L-E, durable. It's an adjective which means able to exist for a long time without significant deterioration, also designed to be durable. Something durable lasts a long time, so it's no surprise that the word comes to us via Anglo-French from the Latin verb which means to last. Other descendants of the word in English include during, endure, and durance. Durable even has a near synonym in the much rarer pure durable, which combines durer with the prefix per, meaning throughout, to create a word that can mean lasting a very long time or indefinitely or eternal. This morning's word of the day is durable, D-U-R-A-B-L-E, an adjective which means able to exist for a long time without significant deterioration. An example of the use of the word, the couch is covered in eye-catching yet durable fabric that will last for years. The word of the day this morning, durable, D-U-R-A-B-L-E, an adjective which means able to exist for a long time without significant deterioration. And as you go about your wonderful Wednesday, the thought of the day, sometimes you have to take a step back to see that you're moving forward in the right direction. Sometimes you have to take a step back to see that you're moving forward in the right direction. Just double check. Make sure you're on the right path. Make sure you're going where you want to go. Make sure what you're doing to get there is what you need to be doing. So it's not just rewinding and going differently. You just need to double check. Make sure everything copacetic. Make sure the path is strong. It may be a winding road, but make sure you're on the right road to ensure that you're moving forward in the right direction. So sometimes just, as they say, take stock. So the thought of the day, sometimes you have to take a step back to see that you're moving forward in the right direction. Let's see what's celebrated today. Today is Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. Today it is Ash Wednesday. It is Ash Wednesday, which signals the beginning of the Lenten season for many. It takes place 46 days before Easter and the day after Shrove Tuesday. Ash Wednesday comes 6 weeks before Easter Sunday and is a Christian holy day of fasting, sacrifice, and prayer. Followers of Jesus of several sects and denominations often forego a regular meal schedule, instead eating only one normal-sized meal and two very small ones over the course of a given 24-hour period, especially on Good Friday. The most devout Christians are known to eat even less than that, limiting themselves to bread and water to signify their recognition of Christ's 40-day, 40-night fast as recounted in the Gospels. Abstinence from alcohol is also stressed on Ash Wednesday and throughout the Lenten season. Hold on, I'm going to repeat the last part. Abstinence from alcohol, aka staying away from alcohol, is stressed on Ash Wednesday and throughout the Lenten period. So for all our Christians, today it is Ash Wednesday. Ensure you go to your nearest church building or your service, wherever you worship, and get your blessings, your Ash Wednesday cross on your forehead with the ashes. It's a significant day for Christians, so ensure that you participate in the tradition of getting your ashes on your forehead. Today it is Ash Wednesday. All right, let's see. Information time. Have to big up my boys, my Grenadians on the Windward Island team. Yesterday, the Windward Island Volcanoes faced off against Jamaica's Scorpions and came out victorious in the match, winning by 92 runs. And one of the stars of the team, Grenada's Andre Fletcher, starred with both the bat and the ball. Fletcher, taking the crease as one of the opening batsmen, scored a spectacular 60 runs, and that was one of the two high scores of the game, scoring that 60 runs from, hold on, I'll try to go in and get how many balls he took right. 60 runs from 51 balls, and then he came back with the ball and picked up 2 wickets for 3 runs in 1.4 overs. So the young man starring with both the bat and the ball, bless up your whole self, Andre, seeing and helping the Windward Islands to a 92-run victory over Jamaica's Scorpions yesterday in the Super 50 cricket tournament. There were some Grenadians also shining as well. Hold on, let me make sure I get them correctly so I could hail them up. You know how to hail up my peoples. Emmanuel Stewart, he scored 19 runs. Roland Cato contributed 23 runs. Preston McSween not out on 3 runs from 2 balls. He was, a bowler, so he came in the tail end of the match. So bless up all your whole selves. Hold on, wait, Ryan John picked up some wickets yesterday. Yeah. Don't I tell all of we shining in the dance. Right, Ryan picked up 2 wickets for 33 runs yesterday. Preston picked up 1 for 35, and like I said, Andre snagged 2 wickets for 3 runs. There were other players on the team, but right now I'm going to big up my Grenadian posse. That's how I bias, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So bless up the Grenadians on the team, helping the Windward Islands to their 92-run victory over the Jamaica Scorpions. The tournament continues this afternoon. Today is Wednesday, so the match this afternoon is at 1:30 p.m. today. Today's game will be between the Leeward Island Hurricanes against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. That game is scheduled to bowl off at 1:30 p.m. and will be carried live on Classic 105.5, 105.9. So look out for that game this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Leeward Islands and Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. Just as a note, this morning we have To The Point program, and we are expected to be to host 2 members of the Ministry of Health. According to the information that I got yesterday, the guests will be Minister of Health Nicholas Steele and the Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles. To The Point program starts at 9 a.m. and all you know what? The focus for Blossom is going to be on the vaccine. Let's see what happens. Today's Wednesday, so it's been just about a week since they took the first dose of the vaccine. So let's hear the reports that are coming in from the people who have received it, and as we roll out the AstraZeneca jab, what takes place going forward. So tune in at 9 a.m. this morning for I'm going to say post-cabinet briefing. Tune in at 9 for To The Point as we host the Minister of Health Nicholas Steele and Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles on the program. It will be carried on Classic and GBN platforms. It is now 7:15. Let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. It's Good Morning Grenada on a wonderful Wednesday that started out rainy. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Good evening. This is News at 7. The newly appointed increase in prices on all products manufactured by Caribbean Agro is said to place a serious financial impact on not just farmers, but consumers, as the price of chicken per pound and eggs will also increase. While many are expressing their grievances on the matter, the question asked is, why is this increase happening now? A question economist Dr. Patrick Antoine answers in this Rena Pierre report.
Consumers are feeling the effect of the price increase implemented by Caribbean Agro on Monday, but a regional consultant and economist is warning that this is just the beginning. The price of animal feed and flour went up by 6 to 16%. Due to the increase, the Grenada Association of Poultry Producers also placed an increase in the price of local wholesale chicken and eggs from February 15th. Many consumers are asking the question, why is the increase happening now? Dr. Patrick Antoine says the answer to that is COVID-19.
What we are seeing is, in fact, the market-induced effects of COVID in various ways. Countries such as China are claiming that they have drawn down on their stocks of soya, corn, and in some instances wheat, but particularly soya and corn, which are big ingredients in feed, during the last 12 months, and what they're doing now is building back their stock. So they're buying more, and with their increased purchasing, the markets become, if you wish, shorted, and the price is going up. I think the third reason is that you are seeing some movement up in shipping prices as well. And the fourth one is that it is claimed that there's some weather-induced effects taking place in some countries, such as the countries in South America.
The economist explains that all of the factors have led to a 40 to 60% increase in corn and soya, which affects all Caribbean countries. He explains that the situation is predicted to get worse.
In the Caribbean, for instance, in Trinidad and Tobago, many of the entities are not giving you prices going forward. You can't forward buy anymore. You can't buy 1,000 bags of feed to be delivered 3 months from now, because they're concerned about where the prices will go. And what's happened is that many firms, enable mills, have been able to not pass on the increase yet, because they're using from the old stock. But many of them, as the new stock comes into manufacture, are forced to use it. So that is really where the market is now. It's very turbulent, and unfortunately, there is no good news. There is an expectation that this could get worse, depending on what happens with the Chinese purchasing patterns, and hopefully other countries don't begin doing the same thing to mitigate against further price increases later.
Dr. Antoine warns that this can create a serious dent in the poultry industry in Grenada.
So for the farmers, it's not going to be good news, because as prices goes up, you know what happens to demand. Demand comes down. The price goes up, you buy less. So they're going to be faced with a little bit of a challenge. Depending on what happens, you're going to have the industry shaking itself out, meaning that some people are going to find it difficult to continue producing poultry, because as prices goes up, if some people can sustain that and not pass it on, they will. Those that can't will be forced to do so. So we have to look at that to make sure that our small and vulnerable producers, the smaller farmers, are able to stay in production, particularly now where unemployment is an issue. So this is a real issue that is not just an agriculture issue. This is a deep issue that the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Trade needs to get involved with.
Patrick Antoine was a guest on the GBN Good Morning show on Tuesday. For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre reporting.
What has been the true reality of the COVID impact on the workforce, especially in the Grenadian context? There have been intensified labor disputes between unions and employers and a hike in unemployment, while the government has experienced revenue shortages due to decreased tax collection. The tourism and accommodation industry is facing a further closure of entities in June, with NIS contributions in decline. decline, prospective effects on union dues collection, and overall concerns. GBN's Jared Joseph takes an in-depth look at the impact of COVID-19.
They are tucked away in the nooks and crannies of Grenada, waiting to be told. GBN digs deep, uncovers the untold stories. We are GBN, covering Grenada's untold stories.
Tentative signs of recovery are emerging in global labor markets following unprecedented disruption in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, according to the latest report from the International Labour Organization. However, the same cannot be said about Grenada, as the situation has gotten worse to the point of companies facing liquidation as high debt loads continue to severely affect businesses.
So there is going to be a significant outfall or fallout by June of this year if some of these issues are not addressed. So I know the Chamber and the GHTA is going to try and do a joint paper and approach the government to see what assistance can be garnered for these companies that are facing these dire issues.
Private sector Senator Christopher Diali says this is especially so for companies within the tourism industry as well as the entertainment industry. New annual estimates in the 7th edition of the ILO Monitor COVID-19 and the World of Work confirm the massive impact that labor markets suffered in 2020. The latest figures show that 8.8% of global working hours were lost for the whole of last year, equivalent to 255 million full-time jobs. This is approximately 4 times greater than the number lost during the 2009 global financial crisis. According to the report, looking at unemployment alone drastically understates the impact of COVID-19 on the labor market. These massive losses resulted in an 8.3% decline in global labor income, equivalent to US 3.7 trillion or 4.4% of global gross domestic product. According to the Central Statistic Office in the Ministry of Finance, unemployment levels for Grenada stood at 28.4% in the second quarter of 2020, drastically increasing from 15.7% in the same period in 2019. The Labour Force Survey equates the unemployment percentage to 14,236 people, with the most being females at 7,658 and males at 6,578. On July 13, 2020, the government announced more than 7,000 Grenadians had benefited from its economic stimulus package. Payroll support to businesses, income support to self-employed persons, and an unemployment benefit were offered within the package. At that time in July, government had expended more than 17 million on the various measures in the stimulus package. According to the Prime Minister's press secretary, income and payroll support alone in 2020 amounted to 22.7 million. President of the Trade Union Council, Andrew Lewis, says a period of uncertainty remains, however, has commended the resilience of the people.
So, for instance, there are a group of workers who enjoyed or received the unemployment benefit, small as it was better than nothing. There are workplaces that has gone into negotiations and discussions with the union to hold on to jobs, preservations of jobs, with certain compromises been made in relation to benefits in exchange for holding on to jobs.
The National Insurance Scheme was also brought into the fray, offering a temporary unemployment benefits program. NIS in early January then announced a sickness benefit claim for individuals in quarantine.
The national insurance laws makes allowances for persons who are in contact or may deem to be a carrier of an infectious disease where they have to be quarantined, that in that situation they can claim. So in the case of COVID, if you are required to quarantine or you are required to self-isolate, in which case you are not required to see the doctor, you can still claim for a sickness benefit.
Despite the 2021 budget estimating economic growth to decline by 12.2%, Finance Minister Gregory Bowen had estimated unemployment to reach 20% by year end as some sectors normalize. However, some businesses have never recovered, several hotels have remained closed, and even now livelihood livelihoods are under threat, with the entertainment industry and nightlife under siege. Sanders was then affected by Grenada's first COVID-19 cluster, with hundreds of workers again sent home. In light of ongoing retrenchments, rotation, and sending workers home without a salary, the TUC president was in high praise for one employer.
St. George's University, a private sector company. This is not the government of Grenada. The private sector company that has not sent any one worker home, that has not taken any annual vacation leave from any worker. And the workers continue to enjoy their benefits. It's a private sector company. And we all know the impact of the pandemic on SGU, or St. George's University.
St. George's University is the single largest employer in the private sector and second to only the government in the country. Union fees have also been affected, and Lewis says the role of the unions is now more crucial than ever before, while they ensure a balance and workers are not disadvantaged.
Where on the one hand, we are balancing the psychological impact on workers. There have been more challenges in relation to health and safety. So the labor movement have had to up its game in relation to health and safety. Health and safety at the workplace, as it relates to ensuring that the workplaces follow the COVID protocols as called for by the Ministry of Health, ensuring that the workers themselves, and in particular, carry out the protocols that have been called for by the Ministry of Health.
The coronavirus crisis cost the global tourism sector US $1.3 trillion in lost revenue in 2020 as the number of people traveling plunged, with the United Nations calling it the worst year in tourism history. Revenue loss last year amounted to more than 11 times the loss recorded during the 2009 global economic crisis, the Madrid-based World Tourism Organization said in a statement, warning that between 100 and 120 million direct tourism jobs were at risk. Revenue collection by way of taxes has also been affected, notably income tax from workers, which fell by $16.3 million or 10.8% in 2020 when compared to 2029. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
With nightclubs and entertainment centers closed due to COVID-19 restrictions, locals are now tapping in on exploring more than before. Weekends are overwhelmed with organized bus tours, especially to the northern part of Grenada. GBN News crew was out and about on the weekend. Chrislina John fills us in on what they found.
They are tucked away in the nooks and crannies of Grenada, waiting to be told. GBN digs deep, uncovers the untold stories. We are GBN, covering Grenada's untold stories.
Some of the island's scenic spots that were underutilized by islanders have now become prime hotspots. Nestled in the north of the island in St. Patrick is the Levera Sulphur Spring, originally called Shambo Spring, part of the Shambo estate. This pristine piece of nature offers total rejuvenation of mind and body. That's according to people who have had such experience. Locals are calling on the Ministry of Tourism to come on board to develop the area that has been identified as a tourist attraction site. Dennett Mitchell reminisces on his childhood days visiting the spring. He describes it as unfortunate that tourism officials seem to not realize the importance and beauty of this site.
Generally, people are afraid of this place because of the mystery of the boiling process that goes on in the water. You know, the always bubbling process. So that's how we come to call it the boiling spring. Nowadays you hear people say the sulphur spring. The sulphur become more significant now because people come to recognize the therapeutic aspect of it. Originally, it was the Baptist and Shango people who used to be using that place that much. Using the significance of the place, he decided to develop this place. And it was a very good initiative from
Anthony Benjamin is the man behind the enhancement and maintenance of the areas surrounding the pond for the past 16 years, taking it from nothing to something. He claims that the ministry has not been forthcoming with any assistance. However, he is thankful for the kind folks that have come on board.
My community first, because this year is not just about me. This is a community level base, because this place cannot run just like by me, because I cannot be a cook, I cannot be a bartender, I cannot be the person taking care of this, I cannot be the person taking care of the toilet, which is me who do all that presently. But I'm getting older, so I don't know what happens in the near future. But the thing I would like, if tourism come on board and other people who want to sponsor or want to come on board with us to get this in order, because this is not just a sulfur spring with people. This is for therapy.
Benjamin says part of the development is to promote and showcase to visitors the local products, arts and craft of the people in St. Patrick. Lewin John also provides an on-site service using materials from the pond that she says has healing properties for several ailments.
The mud, which is sulfuric volcanic mud, you used on people that takes off any dry skin, any lota, any rash, many different complaints. Eczema, psoriasis, skin rash, sunburns. You come here and you use the mud. Splendid. You get a good treatment from the mud. Or since after the COVID, say, visitors like foreigners coming in here, it's on a down low. But basically right now I notice the locals are embracing what we have, because I always say to them, don't let people come from overseas and enjoy what we have here.
One visitor shares his experience.
Here because it's an opportunity for me to rejuvenate, to restore, to ease the tensions in my body and to assimilate some sense of balance, so that I can go back out for another 2 weeks. So I come here every 2 weeks. I bring my mom with me as well, most of the time, because an aspect of this area is what the Creator gives us for absolutely free.
Christina John, GBN News.
Weeks after the Fisheries Division issued a statement advising vigilance when venturing out to sea due to an increase in shark sightings around neighboring islands, Grenada recorded its first reported shark sighting and capture. Details in this report.
A shark was sighted and captured on Dr. Groom's Beach in the south of the island on Tuesday. Footage reached GBN at about midday of the shark swimming near the shore before it was captured by locals in the area. The men on the scene proceeded to drag the shark from the water before killing it and ultimately shared its parts with onlookers. A local fisherman and diver who is familiar with the area, Jamil Bridgman, said countless times there have been shark sightings in that area, referring to the killing of the shark as unnecessary. Bridgman says sharks seldom prove to be a danger to swimmers.
Myself and other fishermen, we dive that water almost every day. We even go out at night too. We always see sharks there. Even when I was working at Sandals, we always take the guests out at those reefs. And, the guests, they enjoy looking at the sharks and stuff. To be honest, I think that was unnecessary kill because, the shark was going along its way. It almost reached Clemency Point, and just beyond the point, we have a reef down there where it's called Shark Reef. That's where we see most of the sharks. Well, sharks don't really attack anyone just like that. You have to be in the area doing something like maybe spearfishing or so, and you have a lot of freshness in the water, like blood and stuff. So if you're on shore and you see the shark, just leave it, let it go away, because it would not do anyone anything. They just come, they see you, and they swim away like any other fish.
Recently, in an interview with GBN, the Marine Protected Areas Coordinator at the Fisheries Division, Olando Harvey, said sharks are critically important to the marine environment in general, as they are essentially the cleaners of the ocean and marine ecosystem. Responding to shark slayings on neighboring islands, he said fear or misunderstanding may have a role to play in the capacity to care for the creatures.
I'm a little bit concerned about that in some regards. As you rightfully said, there's a lot of fear associated with sharks. People who don't interact with the marine environment as much as maybe I would tend to have maybe a fear of sharks, or if you come in contact with a shark, they think that the only thing a shark can do is kill you. But we've never had that I could recall, definitely in my lifetime, anyone being severely injured by a shark or even killed by a shark in Grenadian waters. In most of the cases where we have incidences of sharks interacting with persons are typically people who spearfishing and they have blood in the water. They have something that attracts the shark to them, and they may have an encounter with it, but it's never been really severe or life-threatening. So I think there's nothing really for people to be overly concerned or overly fearful of with regards to a typical shark that we would have in our waters. So I'm a little bit concerned that we would have people going out there and actually hunt, actively trying to fish sharks. Grenada doesn't have a fishery for sharks. It's not something that we target. It's not a species we target. We do have some incidental capture where you set a line for something else and you may catch a shark. And in Grenada, we do pretty much land everything we catch, so we do have incidences like those.
In the Caribbean, shark populations have been decimated along a number of fronts due to a loss of reef habitat and health. In January, the Fisheries Division released a statement advising seafarers to be vigilant when venturing out to sea as a result of shark sightings around neighboring islands. The public is reminded to be cautious when going to the various beaches. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and the Arts, Fisheries and Cooperatives is once again advising the general public, visitors and fisherfolk to exercise extreme caution when venturing out to sea. They are advising persons that a shark was sighted and caught within the marine environment of Dr. Groom's Beach in St. George on February 16, 2021. The shark, which appears to be 12 feet long, has been identified by marine biologists to be that of the mako shark species. The shark appears to have beached itself for unknown reasons. However, there have been similar occurrences observed with these oceanic shark species in neighboring islands of St. Kitts and Nevis and Dominica in recent months. The general public is advised to exercise the following. Do not panic. Be vigilant while bathing on beaches and exit the water immediately if a shark is seen in the water. Refrain from catching or removing from the water any shark that is beached, and refrain from consuming the meat from a beached shark as the reason for beaching is unknown. The Ministry of Sports, Culture and the Arts, Fisheries and Cooperatives urges all seafarers and the general public to note well the points listed above and report any sightings of sharks to the Fisheries Division via telephone 440-3814 and the Coast Guard at 444-1931 or 444-1932.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call 440-1015 or 440-1016 or check out their website hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product detox combo pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. Since 1983, they've been serving the country, and we like all their financing, giving the people what they want, what they need, what they love. Come and join the family that's here for you all the way. From birth to graduation, your first job to your home, and your card through your golden years.
The GT Credit Union has been actively supporting nation building through its many sponsorships and programs, including financial literacy quiz, Pass the Torch Calypso program, junior cooperatives in secondary schools, CPEA, and the TAMCC grants. The credit union has helped many people make their dreams come true. Let them help you with yours. You don't have to be a teacher to be a member. So what are you waiting for?
GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Get Ruby Gas. Get cooking. Ruby Gas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Ruby Gas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100-pound cylinders. Ruby Gas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Ruby Gas?
Get Ruby's, get going.
Imagine your day without having to wait in line, without having to write at every store, without touching the pen everyone else used, having your info exposed to everyone. Sounds great, huh? Well, it's possible. Here is Teta. With Teta, you download once, register once, and just scan to check in everywhere. No hassle, no forms, no hold up. Simple and easy. Teta lets you explore, discover new places, new products, and new experiences. What are you waiting for? Get Teta for free from your app store today and enjoy contactless convenience.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
But you know, Scholar, before you come up here, I sit down thinking, you know, and nowadays, you know, when man ain't feeling well, they're sick and they have something happened to them. When you go by a doctor, it's all kind of Dicillin and Datilin, Penicillin and Maxillin, all kind of this kind of lean on them. You know, things change because a long time. For example, a partner of mine tell me once he had a bile. You know, they don't have a bile and thing on the leg, a man have a bile. He say, the thing hot in, it swell, but he afraid to squeeze it because you hot. He say his grandmother get some basilicum with some soft candle and thing, put on a warm pepper leaf and she put it on that bile. And two the bile boss, you know.
Yeah. And I know all they just make is a poultice.
I remember poultice. You getting some boiled leaf, you boil that and you mix it with the same soft candle and basilicum and you good to go.
Yeah, well, that's a joke you're making. Our partner, man, I'm a piece of gas barrel. One piece of gas.
So what you do?
Man say you buy Pepto-Bismol, you buy Eno, you buy Anju.
So why didn't
gas barrels?
So why didn't tell him take a dose of antipa?
So why you believe I tell him? I tell him man take a dose of antipa.
Well, problem solved.
Problem solved.
I mean, those things work, and they worked well.
Very, very, very well.
They work well, and you know those days when you go and get your thing, you have to go with your bottle, you know, because you can't. When you go in the in those days it wasn't pharmacy, you know. When you go in the dispensary, you go with your bottle, and they mix it for you, and they pour it in your bottle. They cork it, and you go, and you're good to go.
Those were the days. Join us
this Friday on We Culture to know more about Basilicum, Old Tees, Antipa, RC Fesita. A man go and buy RC Fesita. When you reach in the dispensary, say, sir, I want to get some Ashifata Hita. Folks, join us this Friday on We Culture for more. See you then.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
My granddaughter.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
When the devil want to breathe, we have to turn there Jah goes again. He took me to a higher level, higher. Oh, Daddy Father blessing me, blessing me. Oh, Daddy Father,
the world is brighter. I'm so much lighter since you came into my life, Lord. I am not the same.
Blessings flowing over here like a fountain. Don't make nobody trick you, no.
EC Polymer Notes, our new money.
Here's how you can detect genuine EC polymer notes. Feel. Polymer notes feel smoother than the material from which paper notes are made. Also, the front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you. Look for the clear window at the front and back of each note. This window allows you to see through the notes. If you hold the notes up to the light, you'll see the value of the note in an area of plain colored print. Tilt. A holographic foil is on the $100, $50, and $20. The images move and their colors change when you tilt the notes. Remember, detecting genuine EC polymer notes is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Feel, look, and tilt.
EC polymer notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada, 20 and a half minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. This morning I have joining me as our virtual guest is somebody who can shed some light on an interesting thing that happened yesterday. He's an employee at he's a coordinator of Marine Protected Area in the Division of Fisheries Division. And? All right? Yeah. Memory in the dance. Yes, Mr. Olando Harvey is joining us this morning, and he's here to talk about Mr. or Miss Shark that was discovered in our waters yesterday. Good morning, Mr. Harvey. How you doing?
Good morning to you, Awesome, and the listening public.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was excitement for us yesterday with the discovery, or should I say the beaching and bringing onshore a shark in the south of the island, and I think it created much excitement because it's not by the usual means that we usually get shark brought on board. It's not by the fisher folk who caught it outside. It was right there on our doorsteps. So between yesterday and today, what information have you gathered so far about the shark, and what can you tell us before we get into some more nitty-gritties?
Right. So from the information that came to the Fisheries Division, apparently the shark was observed a little bit offshore by a number of persons, and they actually went out and lassoed the shark, brought it in closer to the beach, and then actually got helpers to pull them on shore. So that was the videos that was circulating on social media yesterday. It started when the shark was actually brought closer to shore, and then it was brought on shore. So from our investigations, it turns out that the shark is a longfin mako shark. It's a shark that's not typically observed in our coastal waters of Grenada. It is in Grenadian waters, but typically you find it out in the open ocean. So it's really rare to actually come across one of those sharks in the coastal waters, especially here in Grenada. So the shark was captured, brought ashore, and subsequently, I guess people it was butchered and used for meat, most likely.
That's a concern I have, because I noticed as well from a news release issued by the division that a lot of these beached sharks, you should be cautious about consuming the meat because you never know the reason why it was beached. Why is it important that we actually be mindful of, especially the eating part?
Right. So as I indicated earlier, the sharks are not typically observed in our coastal waters. So for some reason, it found its way here. From the communication we had with people on the scene, the shark, when it was observed a little bit further out, it was seen swimming erratically. So it wasn't exhibiting typical behavior for a shark that you would expect.
And in those cases, we're not sure exactly what the concern with it is, what the health of the shark is, why it's actually beached. You don't typically find it there, so that's a concern. So we typically, when we have situations like that, we try to advise the public not to consume the meat because we don't know if it's a toxin, if it's a parasite, what is the issue with the shark that it found itself in our coastal waters. So in cases like those, we just recommend that people stay out of the water and contact the Fisheries Division or the Coast Guard, as the press release indicated, and let us investigate. Because by the time a pathologist was able to get to the scene, all the meat was essentially gone already. So we weren't even able to do a full analysis of the shark to tell, if what was the real reason for it being there. I mean, the cause of death is actually they brought it ashore and killed it, but we weren't sure if the shark was in the process of dying. So it's kind of hard to tell those kind of things if we don't have material, tissue and stuff to test and do the proper analysis that we're supposed to do. So in that circumstances, if this ever occurs again, we advise the public to go to the water, leave the shark where you observe it, and try to contact the Fisheries Division or the Grenada Coast Guard, and let us take it from there.
I've seen reports of there being plastic and other things that shouldn't be in the shark being found in the shark. But now that you're telling me that you weren't able to do the analysis, how true is that? Based on the information I have, so they were able to get the stomach, the pathologist was able to get the stomach and the liver, and some other components that were left on the beach after the persons take most of the meat. And there was nothing in the stomach. The stomach was completely empty. And I think the only thing that we were able to find, we found a couple parasites in it, but other than that, the stomach was empty. There was no plastic or in its mouth or in its stomach. So that I actually heard that being said in the video also, but we don't have any evidence of that. So the cause of the shark being there is still unknown at this point. What should be our reaction, our response in the event that this happens again? In the event that we see a shark, whether it's this close to the shore or just swimming as far as the eye can see, what should we do?
Right. I say, first of all, the thing I'd like to tell the public is don't panic. You observe a shark in the ocean, that's where they live. You're going to expect there to be sharks in the ocean. So that's nothing to be hugely alarmed by. I think the typical reaction should be in the event that one of those, first of all, there's a lot of coastal sharks. We have coastal reefs. So there's a number of other shark species that you typically encounter in our coastal waters. That wasn't one of them. So that's the a little bit alarming part of it. But in the event that you observe a shark in the water, if you're swimming, you exit the water and you contact the Fisheries Division or the Coast Guard and let them know. In the event that, and typically you would only do that if it's a shark, a really large shark, like something like that you typically don't see in coastal waters. Other than that, there's not much you could do. It's just try to be vigilant while you're bathing. Look around. If someone says that a shark was observed, a large shark was observed in the area, refrain from going in the water until someone can tell you that the area is clear to go. And just don't be too alarmed by it. I mean, the sharks are in the ocean. We don't know what was the reason for this particular one coming ashore, and it seems to be there seems to be some type of issue going on because it's not an isolated event. It's the first one here in Grenada, but we have in neighboring islands. So that's something I think that we, as part of the marine or the fisheries divisions in the different islands, need to start looking at it to try to figure out what is the reason for it. But it's early days. We have no real reason or for that happening, for us to see it happening so regular in recent months.
So as you said, there seems to be something happening with sighting of sharks on our neighboring islands, now Grenada. Is this something that we should expect to happen more often, whether it's in Grenada or the other islands? Is this something we should expect?
I wouldn't say it's something that we should expect. It's something that we need to investigate because we don't know what the reason for it is. So if it's something that is new in the system or something new is happening, then we need to figure out what it is, and then we could determine whether it's a one-off event or if it's something that we can expect moving forward. But as it is right now, we have no idea what is causing the phenomena, so it's kind of up in the air at the moment.
in the court of public opinion, aka Facebook, the argument, some people were concerned that people who are not fisher folk caught the shark, brought it ashore, and killed it. There were others who are saying you should kill it because it could attack somebody and then it would have been another story. Your advice is to contact the ministry. Don't interfere with it, contact the ministry. Which side of the fence should I be on? To be honest with you, I was concerned because there could be somebody in the water and the shark possibly attacking them. But at the same time, I think for me it was more of it wasn't humane. It wasn't done humanely to kill it, the way it was caught and killed.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a major concern for us here at the division, and for me personally. I personally, if it was up to the division, the shark would not have been killed that way or killed at all. We would have tried to maybe lead the shark back offshore and see if it could revive itself. Grenada, as most people know, the average fisherman know, we don't have a targeted fishery for shark. So shark is not something that we go out and look to try to catch. Most of the sharks that we do catch in Grenada is what we consider to be bycatch, or it's accidental capture. So you set a line for maybe a yellowfin tuna and you catch a shark because you can select what you catch. And most of them the vast majority of them, I would say, are typically released alive if they can be. Some of them are brought ashore and consumed, but we don't target sharks. So to have people seeing a shark and physically going out and capturing it and bringing it ashore, that's something a little bit alarming. Another one of the things we don't want to have is where people saying that we have aggressive or ferocious sharks in our water and we need to go out and catch sharks. That's not what we're saying. If you encounter a shark, try to get away from it if that's at all possible. In cases where the average person is on the beach swimming, if you encounter a shark, all you have to do is get out to the water. The shark wouldn't be able to come on land. So you just get out of the water and notify the authorities, and we will try to deal with the situation as rapidly and as appropriately as possible.
Species of sharks. This one was I keep calling the shark a mako shark.
Yes.
What other species that we could encounter in our waters, and how do they differ in terms of their behavior? In terms of their behavior, how do they differ?
Right. So mako is so there are two species of mako that you would find, and again they're in the same family as the great white shark. So that they're our version of the great white shark in the Eastern Caribbean. The long-fin mako is the larger of those two mako species. We tend to catch the short-fin mako quite a bit in our longline industry. And so we don't typically, you don't expect to see those in our coastal waters at all. You tend to see our North sharks, maybe Caribbean reef sharks, so I guess maybe a lemon shark mostly in our coastal waters, because you tend to find those associated with coral reefs. Most of those shark species are very timid you might consider them to be. The North shark, you tend to maybe just find it sleeping under a cave or something like that. And the reef sharks, the lemon shark, maybe you might find them on the edge of a reef while you're diving, and as when they encounter people, they tend to stay their distance away unless there's something that, like maybe blood in the water, something that would attract them to, because they're a little bit more inquisitive. If you have somebody spearfishing or something that would trigger them, but they won't typically approach a diver or a swimmer in the water. So they're usually not of a major concern, those species that we typically encounter on the reef. Those pelagic species are a little bit more inquisitive, or something they might come approach you, but you wouldn't typically encounter them. So they're not usually a huge health risk to humans or a danger to humans, because we typically don't come across them while we're in the water per se.
In the event that... No, let me ask this question, a matter of fact. Is this the first, at least in the most recent times, that we've had a shark being beached in our waters? Do you recall when the last one was?
No, I can't recall the last time we had a situation like that. I can remember quite a long time ago, there was a whale shark that beached somewhere along the southeast coast. But that was quite a long time ago. I can't remember, there wasn't a formal report made. It didn't come to the attention of the division that another shark was beached. We had some incidents where a dead shark came ashore in Caracou a number of years ago, but a tiger shark came ashore, but we haven't had any issues where one came ashore alive, as in a situation that we just encountered.
I know you said investigation needs to be carried out to see what is causing these shark sightings in our islands. But in terms of where it was beached, in the south of the island, is there a possibility that we can see them in other places, or is it typically only mainly in the south, or maybe even in the town area, that we can see sharks being beached? Or can we expect it Carriacou, St. Patrick, St. Andrew?
I can't say we could expect it to happen any particular place. The fact that it's on the west or the south coast is not alarming. One of the things that we have is really deep water close to shore along the south and east coast. South and west coast. The east coast, we have a continental shelf that extends far out to sea. So deep water is not really close to the shore. Along the south and west coast, we have deep water really close by. And these species being a pelagic species, they're typically out in the open ocean. It's not alarming that's where it end up coming ashore, when it comes ashore. But there's nothing to say that it's going to come ashore in any particular place. I am not even willing to say that we're going to have the event happening again. We just have to kind of wait and see and be as vigilant as possible while we're using the ocean.
Somebody's asking for the contact information of the Fisheries Division in case they see another shark, possibly?
Yes, it's 440-3814.
3814, and Coast Guard is 444-1931 or 1932. And that's just in case fingers crossed, maybe we won't have another encounter, but just in case, 440-3.
I'm sincerely hoping that we don't have another encounter, because the last thing I want is for people to get overly alarmed and maybe even start targeting the species, because, for example, the shark fin mako is an endangered species. The longfin is vulnerable globally. So there are species that are threatened by, I guess, from fishing activities over the decades. So it's species that we don't want to have captured or removed unnecessarily. So I really hope that we don't have another encounter.
And that's what I was going to ask as well. There are people who would be fearful. I have one family member, she's already scared of the sea, and now with the sighting yesterday, it's like she may lock up the grandchildren in her house, and they may never see the light of day again. What advice can you give to the people who are now extra fearful, extra cautious about even going on the beach with just one shark sighting?
It's something to be vigilant about. It's not something to be fearful of. Typically, these sharks don't come into our water, so it's very unlikely that we'd have another encounter. But in the event that we do, what we need to ensure is that we're vigilant. We keep an eye out at keep an eye on the water. In the shallower waters where we typically are swimming, if one of those large sharks come, you would see the fins in the water, kind of like how you would see it on TV, where you have that the dorsal fin coming ashore and you see the shark in the water. So just keep an eye out for stuff like that. And in the event that you see a fin or you're uncertain what something is, just come out of the water and try to investigate what it is. If it's a shark, then contact the division.
And in addition to sharks, there are other species in the ocean that are dangerous, can be harmful to us. Is there other things that we should be on the lookout for besides sharks that may cause harm to beachgoers?
Right. Another one of those species that's of concern to humans, I guess we would say, is the red lionfish or the lionfish. We do have them coming into really shallow waters, especially if there is like a ledge or something in seagrass. You tend to find juveniles there, and if you step on one of them or you get punctured by one of them, then it's going to induce some pain. It's not life-threatening. You're not going to die from it, but it would inflict quite a bit of pain. That's just the way that species operate. So that's something that people should be vigilant. You tend to find them in areas where you have maybe seagrass along a pier. Anywhere there's structure, they're likely to be there, because it's the red lionfish is an invasive species to the Atlantic Ocean. It came from the Indo-Pacific, and we have it here now in Grenada. So that's something that we didn't have before that you need to look out for.
It's been a while we've been talking about the invasive lionfish species. Is the numbers in the water growing? Or the fishermen that have been catching it, I know there are chefs that have been preparing dishes, do we have it under control, or is it growing out of control?
The first thing I'd like to say is that we're not going to get rid of the lionfish. The lionfish is here with us forever. We can't, because the lionfish is one of those species that could live in really deep water. We don't stand a chance of being able to ever remove all of it. And what I'd like to think, and I think the general consensus is that the population is stabilizing. In the earlier years of the introduction, the numbers were rising exponentially. But with any species, once you come to a new environment, you're going to expect them to increase exponentially. But once they get to the level where the system cannot handle any more of them, then the population tends to stabilize. And I think that's where we are at the moment. We're starting to stabilize the population. So I think the numbers are not increasing or decreasing drastically anymore.
And going forward, how would the ministry initiate consultations with our regional counterparts to get that investigation going, those regional meetings going, consultations going?
I think that's the next step. We're going to have some internal meetings within the division because the incident only happened yesterday, and try to plot a way forward. I think that would be one of the most logical next steps, is to try to contact our counterparts in the different islands. We have a Caribbean regional fisheries mechanism, which is one of those regional organizations that works with fisheries related issues. And I think that would be the next step, is to contact them and try to plot a way forward, or try to come up with a strategy to try to investigate what is happening, what the occurrence is.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Harvey, for shedding light. Any final thoughts that you want to share with us?
I just want to let the public know that there's no need to panic. I just want to keep reinforcing that. We just have to be vigilant, look out at the ocean. When we swim in, try to be as vigilant as possible in the ocean. If you encounter something, then you just exit the water. I would say if we do have another incident like this, please, guys, do not pull the shark on shore. Do not pull the species, whatever it is, on shore. Leave it where you observe it and try to contact the division. And in the event that we do have another incident, please refrain from consuming the meat. We don't know what caused the incident, so please don't eat it. We don't want to have people getting sick or people having any kind of adverse reactions to anything that they may have consumed from those species. So yeah, that's what I would like to leave the general public with. Don't panic is my sentiment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harvey. Appreciate it. Thanks for shedding some light. Thank you so much. Have yourself a good day. And stay out of our waters for now, just in case. Have a good day. And that was Coordinator of Marine Protected Areas, Mr. Olando Harvey, just shedding some light on yesterday's beaching, capturing and killing of mako shark in our waters. Like he said, don't panic, just be cautious. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we link up with Just Cool Media for this morning's Traffic Cam. This is Good Morning Grenada on Classic GBN Hot 98.
State-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
But you know, Scholar, before you come up here, I sit down thinking, you know, and nowadays, you know, when man ain't feeling well, they're sick and they have something happened to them. When you go by a doctor, it's all kind of Dicillin and Dactylin, Penicillin and Maxillin, all kind of this kind of lean on them. You know, things change because a long time. For example, a partner might tell me once he had a bile. You know, they don't use a bile and thing on the leg, a man have a bile. You say the thing hot in, swell, but he afraid to squeeze it because you hot. He say his grandmother get some basilicum with some soft candle and thing, put on a warm pepper leaf and she put it on that boil. And two the boil boss, you know.
Yeah. And I know all they just make is a poultice.
I remember poultice. You get in some boiled leaf, you boil that and you mix it with the same soft candle and basilicum and you're good to go.
Those were the days. Join us
this Friday on We Culture to know more about basilicum.
It's now time to link up with Just Cool Media for this morning's traffic cam. It's a rainy Wednesday morning out there, and Junior is starting in the Springs area. Let's see where he's taking us this morning.
Let's go to traffic. You always have to be in control of your vehicle. Always have to be focused on the road. As we head into Vicky Cross Road and swing into Woodlands. So good morning one and all folks, welcome to your Wednesday morning traffic cam. Those of you on GBN TV, GBN Radio, welcome folks. It's a wet Wednesday in the Spice Isle. So we asking motorists to be very cautious on the road this morning. The road is wet. There is no need to be in a hurry this morning folks. If you haven't left home to reach to work on time, giving yourself enough time to drive carefully folks. No need to hurry this morning folks. The road is wet. So welcome folks, welcome to your Wednesday morning traffic cam as we are outside the Grenada Distillers, or formerly known as the Grenada Sugar Factory, as we head into Grandans. Not much traffic heading into Grandans. We are now in Woodlands, so there is not much traffic, but there's a lot of rain, folks. So the theme for this week is defensive driving. And as a passenger, folks, you are responsible as well to be part of a defensive driving. If the vehicle that you are driving in is driving very fast, you can ask the driver to slow down or take it easy, folks. And if you are out with a group of friends and you realize that the driver had too much to drink, folks, let someone else drive, folks. Let someone else drive. As we are swinging into Woodlands, close to the bumpy corner in Woodlands, as we head down to Grandans on this wet Wednesday morning. So welcome folks, wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're watching TV, radio, thanks for choosing GBN folks. This is your Wednesday morning traffic cam, as we now going around the bumpy corner in Woodlands, just before the wireman's house. On this wet Wednesday morning, folks, the topic, defensive driving. Also, as a driver, you had a long day, you realize that you're feeling tired. Do not hurry to reach home, folks. Take your time. You can pull up on the side and take a nap. Most of the time you say I will have time make it home, but in a split second, folks, you can sleep is like a man. He can grab you in a split second, and next thing you wake up, as people don't say, either you wake up dead or you end up in the hospital. So if you're feeling tired as a driver, folks, pull over and take a nap, and then continue your journey, folks. Don't risk it. So good morning, folks. Good morning. This is your Wednesday morning traffic cam. Defensive driving. Be in control of your vehicle at all times, folks. Stay focused. Also, if you're feeling sleepy, pull over and take a nap. And as passengers, you realize that the vehicle you're driving in is driving too fast, have a word with the driver. Also, if you realize that the driver has too much to drink, you went out and have fun with your friends, you realize the driver has too much to drink, let someone else drive, folks. So remember, the theme for this week is defensive driving for both drivers and passengers. We are all responsible to look out for the safety of each other on our nation road. And today more so, folks, it's wet. So there's no need to be in a hurry, folks. Take your time to get to your destination. As we in the Grandlands Valley, folks, not much traffic going into Grandlands at this time via Woodlands, Grandlands Valley, a smooth flow of traffic. Very smooth flow of traffic this morning. As the road is wet, we're urging all motorists to take it easy on the wet carpet, folks. Take it easy on the wet carpet. Be a defensive driver. Look out for the pedestrians. So happy Wednesday to all, folks. It's a rainy Wednesday in the Spice Isle. Now we are in Mount Hartman. Approaching Mount Hartman. Not much traffic on the road at this time. Mount Hartman just before Flow headquarters. A smooth flow of traffic this morning, folks. Alright, folks, now we meet some congestion just outside Flow as we reach the intersection to Interlancapine. There is traffic congestion, folks. So there's a lot of traffic, folks, at the moment, right at close to the intersection to go into Lancapine, folks. So expect some traffic delay as you reach this point. Whether you're going into Lancapine or you're going down the Morris Bishop Highway or up to Wall Street, expect traffic congestion, folks. So remember, folks, defensive driving. Be in control of your vehicle at all times. Number 2, driver, if you realize that you're feeling tired, don't try to hurry home with speed. Pull over and take a nap, because in a split second you could either wake up dead or end up in the hospital. So your safety, folks, your safety. And passengers, you realize that the vehicle you are in is driving too fast. Although you may be enjoying a fast ride, but you realize it's driving too fast, you can ask the driver to slow down. And also, if you are aware that the driver had too much to drink, folks, let someone else drive. So many times after an accident, you hear people say, I know you was driving too fast enough, but you didn't say anything. Or you could say, I know you was drinking too much, I know you had too much to drink, but you said nothing until after the accident. You're going to say, if you did tell him, or if. No, folks. We are all responsible. Drivers as well as passengers, we are responsible for each other's safety on the nation's road. As we are the Republic Bank roundabout, and we are heading down to Wall Street. See, there's a smooth flow of traffic coming into the Republic Bank roundabout this morning, folks. Smooth flow of traffic, no congestions. So the road is wet, folks. So we urging you folks to please be careful on the wet carpet this morning. Please be careful on the wet carpet. It's a cloudy and wet morning in Grenada, folks. So we thank you for tuning in, folks, from St. Vincent, Bahamas, wherever you're tuning in from, folks. This is your Wednesday morning traffic cam. Just School Media in collaboration with GBN. We bring you traffic updates Monday and Wednesday.
That was this morning's traffic cam. Thanks to Just School Media Junior Checkley, a collaboration between him and the GBN. He is now on the Grand Dance Main Road, just in front of Lamaki Complex, and heading to the direction of the city, to the direction of town. And it is smooth on his side of the road, and the traffic is flowing on the other side of the road, heading toward the Sugar Mill roundabout. It is wet, as he said. It is slippery. Be careful on the nation's roads. You have to be in mind whether you're driving or you're walking, you have to be careful. There are puddles in the roads. The roads are slippery, some of them too slippery for our own good. So just keep that in mind as you traverse today. It looks like it's going to be another wet Wednesday, so please be cautious and be careful on the black carpet. I'll repeat what Junior said this morning. So it's a smooth flow of traffic heading in both directions on this rainy Wednesday. Every Monday and Wednesday, 7:45 a.m. right here on Classic GBN Hot 98, we bring you traffic reports of different parts of the island. Thank you once again to Junior, and it is now time to end the televised portion of the program. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you once again to Mr. Harvey for shedding some light on yesterday's incident with the Mako shark that was brought ashore. If you are one of the people who got some meat and you're thinking you're going and season it and fix up yourself, as advised by the professionals, refrain from doing so. We do not know what caused it. It's not usual for sharks to come ashore. So if they come on shore, something has to be the matter. It could be that he or she is sick or was chasing something and ended up too close to the shore. Whatever the reason, we don't know. And like Mr. Harvey said, they do not have any samples of the shark to test it to see what was the matter, because everybody clean up the scenes. Lost. I like we people in there. We clean up the scenes and we go with reportion, and we left nothing for the professionals to test to see what the matter was. So as it remains now, we don't know what brought it ashore. So please be careful. If you're one of the people who went home with a pong or two, I suggest either you bring a little portion for the people to check to see if it's safe to consume, or you throw it away. Either way, Blossom and Mr. Harvey says be careful. Not just Blossom, as a matter of fact. The professionals, be careful and cautious in your consumption of the shark meat. Throw it, pelt it away, or bring a sample for them to check so they'll let you know if it's safe or not. I don't know what else to tell all you. Just be safe and be careful. For those of you who are fearful and from now on you're not going close to the beach, maybe like he said, you don't have to be fearful. Just be cautious. If there's a shark coming ashore or close to the shore, you'll see the fin. Remember Jaws? You see the fin? You'll see the fin. Just be careful. Just don't stay away from the water. All right? Have yourselves a safe and productive Wednesday. Remember, coming up at 9 o'clock, we are facilitating representatives of the Ministry of Health. The information I have is Minister of Health Nicholas Steele and the Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles. They'll be our guests on To The Point at 9 a.m., so stay tuned for that. Have yourselves a safe, productive Wednesday. Let's get ready for the 8 a.m. newscast by the BBC. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.